It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Hey.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning, TGIF to you. I'm Philip Simon.
And it is absolutely our joy to be back with you today. We hope that you had a great week, that you're looking forward to what we hope will be a restful and enjoyable weekend for you. Of course, we've got a great show ahead for you. Phil, any special shout outs this morning?
You know it. A special shout out to my second daughter, my second child, Kaylee Kirsten Simon. She celebrated her 15th birthday yesterday on the 15th. I'm sure she'll be down here shortly before the show is over and we can do all of that together and wish her happy birthday.
Oh, that's so awesome. Well, belated happy birthday to my Kaylee. Every time I recognize how old she, Camuel, and Naja are, I recognize how old I'm getting, right? I met them when they were about the same age as my babies. And so it's it's a reminder that 15 years has passed, Phil.
Like in a hurry, right? And apparently I made a commitment to teach her how to drive. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, you're a year early. She's like, but you promised. I'm like, man, did I? And so that's amazing to me that that request even came up. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I guess this means something.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it's a blessing to be able to see our little ones get older. And I'm really excited about our show today because we actually get to feature. And, whenever we talk to young people, Phil, that really lights us up. One of the people coming on the show today is a young person who has really made it very far in a particular skill area. She's a chess player and she's on her way to becoming a chess master. So I'm looking forward to that conversation later on.
Yeah, no doubt. That means she's smart, right?
That's exactly what it means.
Yeah. On the flip side of all of that, and I try, from my got up, I was thinking about it because of, obviously social media caught a fire last night with, everything that happened on Jerome Avenue, the Camp Road area. Once again, whether it's gang warfare or whether it's some unfortunate incident, I just wish that we had better ways as a nation, and particularly as I would say young men, in conflict resolution and solving our problems without the use of just absolute force. And from what you're hearing, a woman was shot, a child could have potentially been shot, some young men died. So I just want to put this clarion call out there once again to our young men in particular, man, that life is precious. I mean, if you don't know it, try growing old. Life is precious. So let's see if we can just love each other.
Yeah. Phil, years ago, I was talking with a friend and she said to me, she'd grown up in a rougher neighborhood. And she said, Star, can you believe I turned 21? And I was like, yeah, happy birthday. And she said, no, like I lived to see 21. Like I didn't think I would live to be this age. Wow. And, it put some stuff in perspective for me. And I always go back to that because, we have this idea that life is precious because for us it is. But for those who may struggle in areas where they're not getting the resolution they need, right? And so we talk about conflict resolution between maybe gang members or conflict resolution between somebody who might get into a fight in a bar. But what we're not talking about is trauma resolution. We're not talking about healing that needs to take place as these young people grow up, the things they've been exposed to, the things that have happened to them that they don't get to talk about, that they don't get to get over. And then you wonder why they don't think life is precious and why they think they're going to be dead before their 21st birthday. And so for them, it's expected that their life would end in violence rather than I'm going to grow old. They've not seen enough people grow old. They've not seen enough people guide them to that point. And so feel that it requires so many different things. Of course, all we can continue to do is our part here on Bahamas at Sunrise, calling out those calls for peace, calling out for love, and then encouraging people in mentorship, encouraging people to activate, programs like JA that you and I always highlight. But really, it is so deep and it's so sad. And so today we mourn with our nation. It's my understanding that this is the highest single fatality count related to gun violence in our country's history. And we pray that it's not repeated. I saw the picture of the young baby standing at that site, and I just could not understand why, right? I see these little feet, and they remind me of my kids. And it's like, this is devastating that this would happen. But Phil, when they shut up the baby shower a year ago, we should have known, like, it's not far off. If you can do it to a baby shower, you'll do it in broad daylight, no matter who's watching and who's around. So we've got a long way to go.
Yeah, and we continue to pray. Let me also give this shout out to all of the nurses, the doctors, the assistants, everybody in the male surgical ward at the PMH. They've been doing a really great job. We have some really excellent people, man. Of course, I'm talking about the care that they've been given to Philip Simon Sr., who's still in hospital, but definitely progressing. He called yesterday and he's bored. I'm like, well, that's great. It definitely means that he's progressing and he wants to get out of there, but not quite yet. But a shout out to those guys over there in male surgical ward at PMH.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for taking good care of him. As I said on today's show, we're going to be talking with the International Chess Federation Woman Candidate Master, who is also a UB student. And we're also going to be hearing from Crystal Cruises about their Bahama escape through the Family Islands that starts this July. Really looking forward to learning more about that, Phil. It's exciting stuff.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And we'll learn about Child Protection Month in our Bridging the Gap segment. And Bahamasair is here to give us an update on the operations. And we'll talk to Abaco for our latest edition of Island Buzz.
Yeah, lots of exciting things coming up. So we hope that you'll stay with us before we get to any of it. We're going to take a first look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Son. Good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather sunrise, high pressure continues to be the dominant feature across the islands, bringing stable but blessing conditions until the weekend. Wednesday, mostly sunny, very warm, slight chance of a few passing showers, high temperature 87 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, near clear skies, still on the mild side, low temperature going at 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 83 and 77. In Jamaica, 82 and 69. In Trinidad, 87 and 76. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 87 and 71. Across North America, Atlanta, 67 and 48. In Raleigh, 65 and 44. In Miami, 84 and 68. Dallas, Texas, 66 and 57. And Toronto, Canada, 48 and 36. As we go to the weekend, lovely weekend and so weather-wise, high pressure continues to be a dominant feature, should most likely to ease for some increasing cloudiness starting Monday and Tuesday with some showers. But the weekend, lovely, lots of sunshine, very warm temperatures. The temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s, at nighttime in the lower 70s. That's what's wrapping your first look at weather sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Very much, Godfrey. The month of April is designated as National Child Protection Month by the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development. No doubt there's nothing more precious that we have in this world as a natural and human resource than our children. Here to tell us more is Tammy Ramming. She's a welfare officer in the Child Protection Unit at the Ministry of Social Services. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's good to have you to talk about something that is, again, the most valuable thing that we have here on earth, our children. And we've got a whole month. In fact, we should have every single day to be Child Protection Day, but we have Child Protection Month, the month of April.
Yes.
Yeah, so what's the purpose?
Well, the purpose of Child Protection Month is all through the month, we go through our communities and our school systems, just educating them on child abuse. What are the signs of child abuse? And just letting every child know the right to be safe. So that's what we do throughout the month.
Yeah, and you call it a right to be safe, right? And in other parts of the world, sometimes it's a privilege, right? Is this something new? How long have we been observing Child Protection Month?
Well, it's not new. In the Bahamas, we've been observing it from 1992. So we're actually on our 29th year of Child Protection Month.
29th year, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so when we talk about abuse, what are some of the signs for somebody who's listening and thinking that maybe this isn't a common occurrence? I mean, we've got some traditions and some ways of living here in the Bahamas. Growing up, it might have been considered child abuse, but what are some of the observable signs of suspected abuse of children?
Well, you would normally notice when you have a child, their normal behavior changes. So when you see something changes in their behavior, they may be acting out, may become delinquent in school. Another part is when they have more knowledge of sexual acts than the normal child. So that's another thing. Running away, change in appetite and all is one of the different signs. So there are a number of signs. But once you see your child has changed in any sort of way, just have a conversation. Sometimes depression, they're staying in their room. So you just need to look out and just be observant.
And this isn't something that just parents can do. Anybody who has, I guess, a consistent contact with a child can pay attention to these indicators. And what happens then? I mean, you notice these things, and then what? You say you make a report. I mean, what happens next?
Well, definitely, if you even suspect just an inkling, it's better to report than not to report. We have a hotline that we have for 24 hours on the weekends as well. And you would call, the hotline is 322-2763. And we have another number, 422-2763. So definitely call, it's 24 hours, report it. If it's an emergency case, we do it in 24 hours, we act on it. And every case is assigned to an officer to be investigated. So child protection is 1 month right now, but the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development, it's year round for us. We have a section, child protection unit, and we have officers that work hard every day trying to protect our children.
Yeah. Is this a serious problem in the Bahamas?
Well, believe it or not, it is a serious problem. I consider it serious. I don't know if just because I'm a social worker, but it is a serious problem in the Bahamas. So I think because the children are our future, this is where we will save them. Okay,
yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess it might have been kind of a catch-22 type of question, but yes, you're right. Any abuse on a child is a serious enough issue. All right, so April is Child Protection Month. Are there any activities that are planned?
Yes, we have a number of activities. We've already had our press conference last month. The Honorable Frankie Campbell did that, and that was under the theme, Child Protection Begins With Us. And then we are collaborating with NPCC, the National Protection Child Council, the National Child Protection Council, sorry, and we with our SCAN as well, so suspected child abuse and neglect. So we have a number of activities. We'll be doing flyer distribution, so you will see us at a number of intersections throughout the month. April 30th is our main day, so we'll be at a number of intersections just passing out information to persons in cars and different things like that. We'll be pinning the Governor General. So that's another activity that we have on our list. And throughout the month, we'll be doing different talk shows just to raise awareness. I think that's probably the gist of it. We'll be doing training as well. So we're doing training for our hotline workers, for our caregivers in the homes. So there'll be a number of training going on throughout the month.
All right, great stuff, Tammy. And I guess in a nutshell then, what's the final word that you'd like to say to anybody who's listening here on Bahamas at Sunrise? And certainly we know a lot of people are listening.
Well, I would say to them, if ever you suspect any child is being abused in any sort of way, because of course there are different types of abuse. There's verbal abuse and emotional abuse that sometimes we don't characterize as abuse. I would say give the hotline a call. It's anonymous. We don't have to have your name or your number. but we would like the complaint so we can investigate it so that the children can have the life that they're supposed to have as a child. So that's what I would say.
And what are those numbers once again?
The numbers are 322-2763, 422-2763.
All right, there you have it. Tammy ramming, and I love the way she says, and the children. That's what it's all about. That's the bottom line. Thank you so much. Welfare Officer in the Child Protection Unit at the Ministry of Social Services. Tammy, thank you so much for being here on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties. Whatever they may be, we equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
Grand Bahama business and industry are essential to the Bahamian economy. What are the challenges and opportunities? Find out at the 22nd Grand Bahama Business Outlook webinar, Thursday and Friday, April 29th to 30th via Zoom. Join us and get the facts from Senator Honorable J. Kwesi Thompson, Minister of State for Grand Bahama, and key experts. They will discuss the port, tourism, major industry, healthcare, technology, education, and more. Grand Bahama Business Outlook. Spaces are going fast. Register today at tclevents.com. That's tclevents.com.
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
Last week we had this great conversation with URCA about Girls in ICT Day, and we're looking forward to that event that's coming up. But today, URCA wants you to learn the basics of chess and have a friendly yet fair game. It's going to be one of the breakout sessions at the Girls in ICT Day virtual conference happening next week, Thursday. And this morning, we're very happy to have the facilitator of that session here with us. I'm talking about Daijah Jonson. She's the FIDE International Chess Federation Woman Candidate Master. And she's also brought along Bahamas Chess Olympian, Miss Antoinette Seymour. She's the only female national champion. And so it's a pleasure to have these two women, leaders, champions, brilliant minds, if they're winning at chess the way that they are. Great to have you guys with us. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really my pleasure. I think we all got caught up in the Queen's Gambit at some point last year. And so for those of us that might have been blind to chess before, I think Netflix has opened our eyes to how much this game matters and how it's played all over the world. Really is a great tool and resource for mindset and skill set. And so Daijah, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got interested in chess.
Well, good morning once again. My name is Daijah Jonson. I'm 17 years old. I learned chess at my primary school, C.W. Sawyer Primary School, when I was in the third grade. My third grade teacher at the time, Mrs. Felicita Williamson, she started a chess club for the students at the school, and she told me that I'm going to learn how to play chess. I didn't really have an option. So from there, I started to go to the practices she held on Fridays, I believe, and we just moved from there. It turned into Mr. Warren Seymour coming in and teaching us as well. And from there, I started playing in tournaments, and then I worked my way up to where I am today.
And do you think, has it helped you with your mathematical skill, or does it take mathematical skill? What makes for a good chess player?
It definitely does take mathematical skills, critical thinking, analysis, time management. It just incorporates everything that you need. Today, actually, I'm a math major, at the University of the Bahamas. And when I was in the third grade at the time, I was having a problem with mathematics. I didn't like it. I wasn't the best math student, but today I'm a math major and I tutor math to different levels like school and college.
All right. So now, Antoinette, you have obviously been in this game for a while. You have gone to the Olympics, titles at the Olympics in chess. That is a big deal and worth so much celebration. And so we congratulate you on just the titles that you hold in this space. And of course, you're the only woman in this space. So talk to me about why it's important to get girls involved in this area.
Thanks again for having me here. And I have to say that I am super proud of Daijah. Daijah reminds me of my young chess self. And she's just awesome with chess. I want to preface everything. I'll quickly read an excerpt from this book by Fernand Gobet called The Psychology of Chess. And it really says it all. And very quickly. In a 1962 interview, Bobby Fischer put it bluntly, they're all weak, all women. They're stupid compared to men. They shouldn't play chess, you know. In 1989, in an interview with Playboy magazine, Gary Kasparov, and these are all chess greats, the best, was hardly more positive. Well, in the past, I have said that there is real chess and women's chess. Some people don't like to hear this, but chess does not fit women properly. It's a fight, you know, a big fight. It's not for women, sorry. So I say that because I went, when I read that, because in the 70s and 80s, a girl dominated chess in this country. And when you have the likes of the youngsters like Daijah today, the same thing, it does not apply. And chess is really the game of life. It's the game of kings, that's how it's referred to, and the king of all games is very exquisite, and it's really for all. And unfortunately, across the globe, internationally, regionally, locally, there are too few women. I can count on one hand in my day, and that's way back in the day. I can call the names of the women in chess. And it's really sad. And the wonders, the virtues of chess, Daijah spoke to chess, but problem solving, tactics, strategy, focus, discipline, you name it, it's for all. And their gender is not a factor. And we've proven that, right, Daijah? Daijah, fellow Olympian. She's awesome.
So Antoinette, awesome. Tell me then about this all girls chess club and school that you're starting.
Oh, I did start, I did open up the Bahamas Chess Academy for Girls and Women to address that problem of the paucity of female chess players in the country. It's mobile, and so I meet you where you are. And I'll say something right now for all those who are a little daunted by chess and, oh, it's so hard, it's so intellectual, whatever like that. No, it's for all. Daijah at the next week's big event, and everybody come on out for that. Daijah will teach you how to play chess in about 20 minutes. Okay. The thing is, you can learn so quickly. It's beautiful. 20 minutes to learn, 20 years maybe to master, but it's addictive and you love it. All you females and males are there, you love it. Chess is beautiful.
All right, so Daijah, she's already given us a little hint that at the Girls in ICT Day, you're going to be showing us how to play chess. What else can we expect from your session?
We can talk about more of my experience, my chess journey, because it was not all success. It was not all wins. You're going to have some losses. And, you know, I wish I had somebody to prepare me for that reality. So I do that for the hopefuls out there. And then just go from there.
All right. Well, look, I am incredibly excited about what's about to happen next week with, of course, URCA's Girls in ICT Day. It's a virtual conference and it's open to female, senior, and junior high schools, and registration is absolutely free. So to register, go to the Girls in ICT Day 242 Facebook page and click on that registration link. Of course, you're going to get to see Daijah, and Antoinette, you're going to join her next week as well?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
And she's drinking her tea
from the umbrella of URCA.
All right. Well, listen, it's going to be a great session next week. Daijah, congratulations to you. Antoinette, this is such a fun fact. Known you for so many years, did not know you were this amazing chess champion. And so the greats just walk amongst us. And so congratulations to both of you for taking charge in a field that has been predominantly for men. And Daijah, I love that you said that it's not always going to be winning all the time, that sometimes you will lose and you got to be prepared for that. But hopefully you grow and you learn for the next match, right?
Yes, Mom.
All right. And I think that's advice we can all take in life. So ladies, thanks again for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Bahamas at Sunrise kicks off the new year in style with a fashion series hosted by yours truly. It's fashion with Cardell McClown, your guide through all the seasons, from challenges to interviews to fashion shows. We'll help you create your style, build your brand, and celebrate the best in Bahamian fashion. It's big, it's bold, it's fashion with Cardell McClown.
And thank you for staying with us. You guys are absolutely going to love this next segment. Of course, it's been such a challenging year during this pandemic. And one of the things that we've seen struggle the most, of course, is our tourism industry. But we're so happy about, the gains that we've been making since that time. And this new and exciting venture promises to be one of them. I think it's actually going to be the future of tourism in many ways. Very happy today to be talking with Crystal Cruises. They set sail here starting July 4th, and they're going to be going to several of our family islands. Here to tell us more, I'm very happy to welcome Kevin Jones. He's the corporate manager at Crystal Cruises. Good morning, Mr. Jones, and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. It is such an honor to be here.
Listen, it is an absolute pleasure for us to have you. I learned some secret stuff before we got started today, and that's that your wife actually has roots in the Bahamas. So that always makes us even more excited because it shows us that you are really committed and connected to seeing our community grow.
I am, and it's funny because one of our brand slogans for Crystal Cruises is that this is where luxury is personal, and this particular itinerary is personal to me. So I'm thrilled to see it come about. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity that has come out of the dark ages of COVID. But I'm ready and willing to put our resources, our brand, our expertise to work in showcasing the Bahamas.
Excellent, excellent. And you mentioned, that this itinerary that's been created is this reflection of personal luxury, which Crystal Cruises is known for. So talk to us about this Bahamas Escape Tour. Which islands will you be going to?
So we will have the distinction of home porting in the Bahamas in both Nassau and Bimini, starting on July 3rd for 16 weeks as an initial offering. So basically on July 3rd, which is a Saturday, you'll be able to fly directly to Nassau and get on our beautiful Crystal Serenity vessel. Or if you prefer, you can fly into or take a ferry into Bimini and get on the vessel on Sunday, July 4th. And then you'll continue through for a 7-day amazing experience that stops in Eleuthera on Monday, Exuma on Tuesday, San Salvador on Wednesday, and then Long Island on Thursday. We have a day at sea on Friday, and then we're back in Nassau.
Wow. And I'm so excited. For years, we've talked as a nation, anybody in this tourism sector, about being able to see multiple islands for the price of one ticket. And so now you get to come on this escape cruise and see, I'm really even excited about the islands you chose, absolute jewels of an already beautiful nation. And so this is really unique, curated experience created for your customers. What do you think that they'll enjoy most? I mean, what will happen as they go from port to port?
Well, the thing that we have the opportunity to show the world right now is how unparalleled the beauty of the Bahamas is. And on top of that, how distinct and different each of the various islands are, right? Nassau is not Exuma.
No.
Bimini is not Eleuthera. San Salvador is not Long Island. And these guests, our guests, who are, average age 55 to 65, average net worth $1 million plus, who are essentially well-heeled, well-traveled, and well-intentioned in the sense that they demand an experience that is not just uber luxury, but is also uber responsive. They expect to be proud of who they cruise with and where they go. And they've given us the ability to say, okay, you think the Bahamas is on par with any other place in the world, we're with you. In fact, when we let out these 16 weeks, we had the highest rate of bookings in the entire history of Crystal Cruises.
Wow.
They trust, and that's important to us because 60% of our members are what we call Crystal Society members. They are folks who have cruised with us many times. And we have hundreds of people with us who have cruised with us between 50 to 100 times.
Wow.
I mean, the brand loyalty is astounding. And we have, yes, we have multiple offerings, but we have 2 ocean-going vessels, right? Which means we can't fail. We have to get this right. That's 50% of our business, but we believe in it so much. And our guests are already voting with their wallets. When the first day we offered this, we had one of our cruisers call us and say, book me for all 16 of the itineraries. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. And that's exciting when we hear who the customer profile is, when we get an indication of where these vessels are going, because even though as a nation, the majority of our tourism stats come from cruise vessels, we've not always seen that spread out to the islands. And so that's, I think, again, very exciting for me that the family islands get to reap these rewards. I know though that there are people who've had some concerns, right? One, it's that it's COVID. 2, it is that it's a new model for these islands, and there might have been some concerns around that. You've had some meetings with the communities. Talk to me about how those meetings have gone and how people are feeling now about you coming in.
Well, I could say that the COVID one it's a kind of a slam dunk for us, right? Because we are head and shoulders tailor-made to be the safest cruise vessel on the planet. And the reason is because we were the first cruise company, our group of cruises were the first to restart cruising in July. We essentially taught the cruise industry how you resume cruising safely. And then we said, you know what, let's take it a step further. Let's roll that out onto our crystal vessels. The crystal vessels themselves, here's the tail of the tape, right? The crystal vessel holds 900 guests. Your average mass market vessel holds 5,400 guests. Our crystal vessel has 73.6 cubic square feet per passenger, whereas the mass market has 30.5. What does that mean? That means we are twice as spacious as anything else in the cruise market. Our staff to guest ratio is basically 1-to-1. The mass market is about 1-to-4, 1-to-5. What does that mean? That means we provide service that's unparalleled and we have more space. And that goes right into our COVID protocols, right? Because we were the first to come out and say, you know what? Every single passenger has to be vaccinated. Not just the first shot, not just the second shot, but you also have to have been vaccinated at least 14 days before you get on the vessel. Then when you get there, you still got to take a PCR test. Then when you get on board, you still got to abide by the COVID protocols with social distancing, which is easier on our spacious vessels, which is also easier given we have 0 inside cabins. They're all balconies, 80% stateroom suites. And then you still got to take a daily questionnaire. Then you still got to go through thermal scanning every time you're in a public space. You also have the benefit of having more health personnel per guest than any other offering in the cruise industry. Even in those big mass market ships, you typically get 1 nurse. Here you get a doctor, you get 2 nurses, and a paramedic available 24/7. You also get the equipment to run real PCR tests and MRIs. So you have people self-reporting daily, and then you have that one-to-one staff ratio monitoring in case someone's not self-reporting. And before you get off the vessel, you have to take another antigen test. So between testing, between equipment, between resources, between vaccinations, I stand by the fact that a Crystal cruise is the safest cruise on the planet.
Excellent, excellent.
That's just COVID.
That's just COVID, right? Well, listen, I'm so excited that we had this opportunity to talk, Mr. Jones, and I'm looking forward to hearing an extended conversation. You are going to be on You and Your Money, so I want to encourage our viewers to pay attention to that, to learn even more. This was just the tip of the iceberg about why you guys are really a blessing for us as a nation, and we're looking forward to working with you. Thanks again for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
The Bahamas and the world has been waging the war against COVID-19 for over a year now. In that time, much of our daily life has been irreversibly changed by lockdowns, job losses, and deaths in our families. As facial masking, hand sanitizing, and social distancing have become the new norm, the team at Doctors Hospital applauds the Bahamian public for doing your part to control and contain the spread of the COVID-19 virus. It is time to take the fight a step further. With the COVID-19 vaccine now available, we encourage Bahamians to continue the fight and do your part in getting vaccinated. Please continue to be vigilant, wear a mask, and social distance. For more information on the COVID-19 vaccine, visit www.doctorshosp.com. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Grand Bahama business and industry are essential to the Bahamian economy. What are the challenges and opportunities? Find out at the 22nd Grand Bahama Business Outlook webinar, Thursday and Friday, April 29th to 30th via Zoom. Join us and get the facts from Senator Honorable J. Kwesi Thompson, Minister of State for Grand Bahama, and key experts. They will discuss the port, tourism, major industry, healthcare, technology, education, and more. Grand Bahama Business Pass. Register today at tclevents.com. That's tclevents.com.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're at the halfway point on this fabulous Friday. We hope that you've been enjoying the show so far. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
And I'm Philip Simon. Star, it's been great. Listen, I always love, listening to the show, even while we're doing the show and the interviews. And Daijah, man, that's just impressive. 17 years old.
17 years old, wanting to be a grandmaster, and just proud of her and her ability to excel. You would have heard Antoinette Seymour talk about, the kind of, sexism that exists in that particular field, and they're still doing it despite that. So congratulations to both of them, and I'm looking forward to Wonderful Girls in ICT Day.
Yeah, no doubt about it, no doubt. But we've got more to come. We'll be talking with the managing director, the MD, like they like to say, of Bahamasair. He's going to give us an update on our national flag carrier.
Looking forward to that, and looking forward to this conversation with the island administrator of Central Abaco in our Island Buzz segment. We've been doing that for a couple of weeks now, and so that's going to be coming up. Before we get to any of it, Phil, we're going to take a second look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Star, and good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at weather at Sunrise, high pressure continues to be the dominant feature across the islands. We expect a weak cold front to move near Grand Bahama sometime over the weekend, but that will store and move back in the warm front sometime on Sunday, but that could create a couple of showers over the area. In your marine forecast, winds today south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. Over the northwest Bahamas, southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. Over the central and southeastern islands, those winds falling light and variable at times. On Saturday, those winds become southwesterly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. Over the northwest Bahamas, continuing southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. Over the central or the southeastern islands, those winds again falling light and variable at times. Then on Sunday, those winds southwest to west at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet of northwest Bahamas, south to southwest at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet of central Bahamas, and southeast to south at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet over the southeastern islands. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 11:49 this morning. Your next low tide will be at 5:21 this afternoon. High gain tonight at 11:44. Sunset 7:31 this evening. Rise in the morning at 6:46. UV index 9. Your water temperature 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase, new moon. External look. Nice looking against the weather-wise. Lots of sunshine. Very warm temperatures. Expect increased cloudiness and a couple of showers by late Sunday into Monday across the northwest Bahamas. Onto that frontal boundary storm and to the north of it. So temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s, at nighttime in the lower 70s. That's what's wrapping your phone. Look at weather at sunrise. I'm glad to go inside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Bahamasair has seen a promising increase in passenger traffic recently, both domestically and internationally, but they are not out of the woods yet. We are still in the midst of an ongoing pandemic. Here to talk with us about this is Mr. Tracy Cooper, the MD of Bahamasair. Good morning, sir. Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to see you. I know you're on the job already. It's been an eventful 18 months. Certainly, the pandemic has just caused and wreaked so much havoc in our lives, both personally, in business, and even in our homes. But when we speak about Bahamas in particular, when we look at the line items, it's projected tens of millions of dollars in loss, up to $60 million in loss for the airline for the 12 months ending in June of this year. Are those numbers correct? And what is your estimation for recovery?
Just to give an understanding, there's no doubt that the aviation industry as a whole suffered immensely during this pandemic. In March, April of last year, there were over 95% of all commercial airplanes that were sitting on the ground. That's worldwide. And so we had thousands, tens of thousands of airplanes that just sat there. And all airlines have had to then make adjustments given the fact that borders were closed, and in some instances, even closed today. So for Bahamasair, for instance, we would have regular flights into Havana. The Cuban government has told us, don't come unless you just once every 14 days. As you know, we have some concerns with Haiti, so we've suspended service there. And this is just a continuing, ongoing thing as we try to adjust the airline. So in most instances, you're finding that airlines are having to adjust, and Bahamas is no different. We've had to make some serious adjustments over the last 18 months.
Let's speak a little bit about some of those adjustments. Obviously, with the challenges in the U.S. market and the focus on inter-island travel, what has been the company's short-term approach and strategy?
Well, it is always good to talk with the industry partners, right? So we have a very good relationship, obviously, with the Ministry of Tourism that we report to. But we're also talking with the various promotional boards, particularly the Family Island promotional boards. We're talking with the stakeholders. So we've had meetings with San Salvador stakeholders as far as the resort owners, Abaco and others. And it is better to allow them to tell us what they believe as far as the tourism product. And this would allow us to then provide a strategy for what we do at the airline. It's one thing to provide a guessing game, and then you go ahead and overcapacitate, and then you even lose more monies. It's better as the industry grows to grow along with the industry.
Yeah. And certainly you can't guess, but it's been certainly a dynamic environment, and things have just been changing every day, fluctuating. But again, now we're in the midst of COVID vaccinations in this period. Of course, a lot of testing is still happening, and the opening of the tourism sector, slowly but surely we're getting there, and this uptick. How is the company repositioning itself?
So we, in the month of March, which was, I guess, the Easter period, we actually saw the best returns that we had since the pandemic. I mean, we're keeping it, you have to keep it relative. The best return still means that we're still in the water somewhere.
Right.
But it means that it is showing a positive sign. And what we are doing with that is that we're making slow adjustments to our schedule. So during the pandemic, we actually, at some points, we were not flying at all. Then we started to gradually improve the schedule. And now, presently, we're up to somewhere around 35% of what we were prior. Okay. To give an indication, though, we feel comfortable enough in where the industry is going or where the load factors are going, that we, for the summer, will be adjusting our schedule to around 60% rotation of prior pandemic. So this is in line with what the industry, if you listen to the various stakeholders, this is in line with what they're saying, and we're believing that as
well. Where do you find has been the uptick in business?
Surprisingly, we've seen it both domestically and internationally. Now, definitely for the March and the Easter break, we saw a lot more international. Right before that, we also started to see an uptick in the domestic travel. So we're encouraged that we think the Bahamians are coming out of hibernation a bit, but also too, we're starting to see persons coming to the Bahamas.
No doubt. I think the world has COVID fatigue. Certainly, Bahamians have COVID fatigue. But our government, like many other governments, has a strict COVID protocol, particularly for PCR testing, which, as we know, is quite costly. Obviously, the expense of just getting from one place to another, while there's initial excitement to kind of get out of the den, get out of the cave. How are you handling that? And what is the industry standard, or what's being recommended? Because again, it's not inexpensive to hop on a plane and to get where we want to go.
Yeah. So traveling is unfortunately, air travel is one of the areas where you have to dig into the pocket a little bit. As related to vaccination protocols and even testing protocols, obviously the government is trying to protect the interests of the Bahamas, and we understand that, and we go along as best possible in facilitating that as required. So we don't have any issues with the testing regime and the pieces that are in place for that. What we're encouraged about is that there is a heavy drive by practically all nations right now to carry out this vaccination. And the US seem to be leading the drive on this. We know that almost 200 million US citizens have gotten at least one vaccination shot. And in the Bahamas, of course, the government is having a national drive on that as well. What, at the end of the day, given the fact that presently, when you have to pay for a PCR test, when you have to pay for the health visa, antigen rapid antigen test as well, it could be a penny, a good penny. And actually, it could almost rival the cost of the ticket.
Right.
So we're hearing from the industry, and IATA has put out a proposition paper asking governments to look at the possibility of those that are vaccinated, properly vaccinated, and has already gone through the inoculation period, the 2 weeks or so after the double shots in some instance, to look at it differently, to look at it where perhaps those persons don't need as much of the testing regime that is presently in place. I personally support that as an airline executive, because it then makes the process of movement in and around the Bahamas and into the Bahamas very easy. And I think it has multiple benefits for the tourism industry, but also just for the travel industry. So I know they've put out a proposition paper, IATA. Now, they're not saying that everybody must be vaccinated. They know that vaccination is a process where it's not evenly spread. Some countries can get it, including the Bahamas, as quickly as we'd like to. So they don't want to penalize. They're not recommending a penalizing of those that simply can't get it, or for those who choose not to get it. Mm-hmm. So they're looking at a hybrid system where you could have the protocol testing according to the level of vaccination.
Tracy, there's so much more. You brought up that point, and I think it's going to be a spirited debate over the next several weeks and months about whether we go into mandatory vaccinations or not. But we're fresh out of time here on Bahamas Sunrise. Thank you so much once again for being available to us.
No problem. It's our pleasure.
All right, great. That's Mr. Tracy Cooper, Managing Director of Bahamasair. You're watching Bahamas Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Grand Bahama business and industry are essential to the Bahamian economy. What are the challenges and opportunities? Find out at the 22nd Grand Bahama Business Outlook webinar, Thursday and Friday, April 29th to 30th via Zoom. Join us and get the facts from Senator Honorable J. Kwesi Thompson, Minister of State for Grand Bahama, and key experts. They will discuss the port, tourism, major industry, healthcare, technology, education, and more. Grand Bahama Business Outlook. Spaces are going fast. Register today at tclevents.com. That's tclevents.com.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
One thing, two things, blue thing, all things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. It's time for Island Buzz. And today we're hopping over to the Abacos, the 120-mile-long island chain known as the boating capital of the Bahamas. And here to give us an update on the island is Donald Roll. He's the island administrator for Central Abaco, which includes Marsh Harbor, Hopetown, and Great Guanakee. Of course, all we remember being significantly impacted by Hurricane Dorian, so we'll talk about that this morning as well. But Mr. Roll, good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us. And, you know, so many things have been happening in the last 2 years. It has certainly taken the country by storm in the midst of this global pandemic. Recovery efforts need to be made in Abaco. And so let's talk about your district and the road to recovery since the hurricane and the COVID pandemic. How has it been working?
Well, you know that September of 2019, September 1st, Abaco was severely and just devastated by Hurricane Dorian. And the road back to recovery has been kind of slow and kind of challenging, because not only we had Hurricane Dorian, the impact of Hurricane Dorian, we also had the global pandemic. With the restoration, I think we have been making strides, and we can now see it with your naked eyes that the recovery stages are here. Most of our businesses is back up and running in Central Abaco. So that creates some jobs and economic impact for those persons who really needs the monetary negotiation funds. So we've been striding and we are progressing, and I know that Abaco will rise even better, bigger and better than it was before.
Awesome.
We are resilient people, and the people of Abaco are resilient, and they are determined to get back even higher better than before, man.
Indeed. Do we have things on the ground like BPL and water and sewage? Are they back up and running in terms of infrastructure?
Well, BPL is back up and running. I had a conversation with the manager here in Abaco, and we had 98% in terms of restoration, in terms of electrifying Abacos. Water and sewage is making strides. I think right now they are installing a water tank that will be almost on par with the ones in Providence. So when that is completed, I think water and sewage will be able to provide service even better than before.
Okay. What is the status of government services? Can you get everything, or every sort of government service that was able to be received in Abaco prior to the storm? Is that now all back up and running?
Every government service is available here in Abaco at this time.
Okay, excellent to hear. Are there any major projects or developments underway? Any sort of investments taking place?
Well, there are a few projects in the pipeline. We have some projects in the South Abaco. We have Baker's Bay is expanding. We have Winding Bay is expanding. We have a project going on in Hope Town. So people are still investing and have confidence that Abaco will be back.
Okay. And we had a great guest on last week. He was on from the Abaco Beach Resort, and he talked about the fact that they've been doing, incredibly well, and they are seeing so much more bookings coming into place. Are you seeing an influx of visitors there? And what does that mean for business over the next few months?
Oh, yes. There is an increase in visitors here. First-time visitors, returning residents, or second homeowners. We have international flights now here in Abaco. And we have those mega homeowners in Baker's Bay and Winding Bay. They are returning. And that proves that Abaco is on the move. And it's an economic boost to the entire Abacos.
Okay. Now, would you encourage, for domestic travelers, for example, are we in the position now, you think, in Abaco for you guys to start to even receive some domestic tourists coming back into Abaco as well?
Oh, yes, we need domestic tourists. I will just send an invitation out to those in the entire Bahamas to come visit Abaco. Abaco is on the move and Abaco is growing.
All right. Now, are there any key challenges that are still facing Central Abaco in particular, especially as we get prepared for another hurricane season?
Well, we look at the infrastructure, and I think Cable Bahamas and REV, along with BTC and Water and Sewage and BPL, they are making the necessary adjustments to what they have learned from Hurricane Dorian. So their infrastructure now should be more durable during hurricane, or sustainable, I should say. And the challenges we have right now is where we move to accommodate those persons who had left after Hurricane Dorian in terms of living accommodations. I think that is our main concern in terms of getting our people back home, so that we can work together to ensure that Abaco is back as normal or even better, like I said.
Yeah. Do you think you're going to maybe lose a percentage of the population, those who had to leave as a result of the storm, Native Abaconians or those who had moved there and built their lives there? Do you think you're gonna see a significant amount of them not return as a result of all the hardship that they would have endured in the storm?
I think we will lose some. I don't think significantly the numbers will be greater, but I think we will lose a lot. And I think we will have other Bahamians and other nationality moving into Abaco. Because like I said, the opportunity is great here in Abaco, economically. Mm-hmm. And we are poised now to rebound, and the economic ability and the economic opportunities are here. So we as Bahamians just need to take advantage of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited about what's to come for Abaco. It has been, I think, I cannot imagine having lived through it. For those of us that observed it, we stood in shock and horror, I think, and in this paralysis of not being able to get there and do enough. And so it's a blessing to be able to see almost like 2 years later that you guys are just continuing to push. Resilient is the word that you used, and you guys are living that example for us. And so excited that things are on the move and hoping that they will continue to get better for Abaco.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes. And thank you for joining us this morning on Bahamas at Sunrise. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. It's a pleasure, ma'am.
All right. You take care and have a great day. We're going to be back with more Bahamas at Sunrise right after this commercial break. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Bahamas at Sunrise. We hope that you enjoyed it.
I certainly did.
Well, that's good to know, Phil. That's good to know.
Listen, you guys have a wonderful weekend. The weather seems as though it's going to be great. I wish I could get on a boat myself, like, Star and Carlos every other weekend, but.
Oh, Phil, if you want to come, just say, Phil, a small things. No, but we do hope that you guys make it a wonderful weekend, and all going well, we'll be back with more on Monday. So make it a good one. Bye.
Bye.